History Spotlight, brought to you by HEC Media and the Missouri Historical Society.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jody Sowell, president of the Missouri Historical Society in St. Louis, and this is History Spotlight. In the male-dominated field of veterinary medicine in the 1950s, female practitioners were a rarity. Yet undeterred by this reality, German veterinarian Suzanne Saueressig forged ahead with determination to devote her life to animal welfare. Museum educator Andy Primm shares her journey and reveals how her groundbreaking efforts revolutionized animal care here in Missouri.
Missouri women have been caring for and treating animals for thousands of years, but it wasn't until 1955 that we got our first licensed, practicing female veterinarian, Dr. Suzanne Saueressig. Over her 50-year career, Dr. Saueressig treated thousands of animals and transformed the Humane Society of Missouri into one of the largest veterinary practices in the Midwest. Suzanne was born in Germany in 1925. As a child, she loved animals and dreamed of becoming a veterinarian. She later reflected on her childhood by saying, "I never dressed dolls, only dogs and cats." She enrolled in nursing classes with the intention of continuing on to veterinary medical school, but her studies were interrupted by the Second World War. Due to her nursing training, Suzanne was drafted into the German army as a medic. She was eventually captured by the Allies and spent the final year of the war as a POW. After the war, Suzanne finished her studies at Munich Veterinary College. Her parents weren't thrilled about her chosen profession because at that time, veterinary medicine was seen as unclean work, not fit for women. But nevertheless, she pressed on, and when she graduated in 1953, she was the only woman in her class. In 1955, Dr. Saueressig traveled to the United States to learn about American veterinary medicine, eventually moving to St. Louis, Missouri. There was already a significant German immigrant population here, and Dr. Saueressig actually already had relatives in the St. Louis area. Although work was scarce for female veterinarians, she was able to get a job with the Humane Society of Missouri. This made her the first licensed, practicing female veterinarian in the state. Unfortunately, the Humane Society at that time had serious challenges, like facilities that were understaffed and under-equipped, and a city that struggled with pet overpopulation. The problem was so serious that Dr. Saueressig once described her work as chipping away at an iceberg with a teaspoon. But she was determined to make a difference. Although she had planned for her time in America to be temporary, Dr. Saueressig ended up obtaining U.S. citizenship and settling in St. Louis permanently. Now, she certainly faced pushback from older male doctors at first, but her skill and dedication were undeniable. Soon enough, she was promoted to a position of leadership. In 1965, she became Chief of Staff for the Humane Society, and conditions dramatically improved under her leadership. Clinics received modern equipment such as X-ray machines, and exam rooms were kept clean and hygienic. Through her leadership, the Humane Society was built into one of the biggest veterinary practices in the Midwest, treating tens of thousands of animals per year. Dr. Saueressig once said of her work, "I sometimes think there isn't a dog in St. Louis I haven't seen." During this time, Dr. Saueressig met a fellow veterinarian, Dr. Richard Rigel. The two fell in love and were married in 1956. Both doctors were absolutely devoted to their work, so much so that for their honeymoon, they merely took an afternoon off to walk their dogs in Babler Park. Dr. Saueressig died in 2013 at the age of 88. During her lifetime, animal care in Missouri had improved dramatically. When she attended veterinary school in the 50s, women made up a very tiny percentage of the student body, but today in the United States, women account for as much as 80% of veterinary students. While she and Richard never had children of their own, they inspired and mentored several generations of young people to become veterinarians themselves. Dr. Sauerressig's legacy of extraordinary care for our furry, four-legged friends is still being honored today.
Next on History Spotlight, the 80th anniversary of the St. Louis Cardinals versus the St. Louis Browns World Series.
To learn more about the Missouri Historical Society, visit mohistory.org.